Blackfishing is hard. It's even harder when it's pitch black o'clock in the morning. You've worked 70 hours this week and it hurts to be alive. But you know what? I had a chance to go fishing with Captain Johnnyfishalot for No Limit Sports Fishing Charters. He's a great guy with a great crew, and we're after some blackfish or taug, depending where you are in the country. So let's get into it. And hello again, Fishalots. I'm John with Fishing with Johnnyfishalot, and in this episode I'm going to show you some tips that could really help you catch these blackfish or taug on a very tough bite. And the first lesson, let's start with value up front, is you have to wait out these bites. These bites were incredibly soft. It's 45-degree waters right now. It's early in March at the time of filming this, and these are just inactive fish. Now, they're going to get more active as we head into April, but these bites are going to be very subtle today. So you're going to see bites right here. You have to wait them out until you feel a bite with some weight on the end of your rod. And that's the key when knowing when to set the hook for these blackfish. And you're going to see exactly that when I set the hook on this fish right here. I tell you what, you really got to love blackfish. These fish just fight so hard. This is heavy gear we use out here in the deep water here, and these fish are just going to fight you all the way up. And this fish is going to be a nice one to start the day. It's going to be a keeper, and yep, there he goes, and we're going to take him home and eat him. And they are delicious. And all right, for anyone out there that's going to balk at the current cost of charter boat fishing, well, here's a good example of why you spend the money. So there's my buddy Pat, and I'm going to sit there in the back on the stern, and we're just going to watch Captain John and Alex work their tails off, trying to reposition the boat, dropping 2 anchors to get us on some blackfish. And you know what? I'm going to bust out some snacks here. And oh yeah, there's some peanut butter Ritz crackers. And these things are going to taste even more delicious by the fact that I don't have to be doing all that work that Alex is doing right there, repositioning that boat and putting us on some fish. Oh, delicious. And so, hey, if you're getting value out of this video, make sure to smash that like button or gently scroll that mouse over and click the like button so that this video can spread to more fishalots out there and they could catch some more fish. Back into the fishing, you're going to notice a position here that I'm going to hold this rod. My right hand is going to be on the far end, the butt of the rod, and my left hand is going to be right where you see it in front of the reel. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm leaning over, just as the arrow indicates, of my buddy next to me, and we're just keeping up with the swells. So we don't want that weight on the bottom bouncing at all. We want that crab sitting perfectly still right for the blackfish, and we're just keeping enough tension on the rod where you're in constant contact with the weight, but you're not moving it at all. And there's a perfect example right there. You can see how my other 2 friends next to me here are standing with the rods, and that's exactly how you hold the rod to make sure that you're on the bottom, you feel the bottom, you feel the bites, but you're not moving the weight. I'm going to reposition my hands just like that to make sure I keep that weight perfectly still. And there's Alex again trying to reposition the boat. And there I'm on the fish right there, just like that. That's how you do it. You just cannot move that lure around or that crab around. You need to wait till that blackfish comes in and smashes it. And then again, you have to wade through the taps, and when you feel the weight, you set the hook, and that's how you catch the fish. Now, as I stated before, this is going to be a very tough day out on the water. The bites are going to come far and few in between. Credit to John and Alex. They really worked hard for us. We must have repositioned this boat 100,000 times during the day, and we had a really good crew. I mean, we had some really good sticks on board, and we were able to put together a really good catch, which you're going to see at the end of this video. But there's a little guy right there, a quick little D-hook, and he'll go right back down to his home on the wreck. And I'm going to grab myself a crab and get right back into it. And here's a big pile of crabs we're using. Those are white leggers that you just saw. This is a white legger right here. And our next lesson to make sure that you catch as much blackfish as you can is switch up the baits. Switch up white leggers. If you have green crabs, give those a try. You can tell I'm going to cut this crab a couple of different ways. This way, I'm just going to cut off the ends. And unfortunately for this crab, I'm going to end up cutting off his face. Yep, right there. Ouch. But hey, what you're doing is you're just opening up that crab so that the blackfish could smell it, hone in on it, and eat it. Okay, blackfish aren't really sight fishermen here or sight predators. They're going to detect these crabs with other methods, come in and eat it. And here's a green crab. Yep, we're going to rip that head right off And there you go, we're gonna bait him up too. Now when I bait these crabs, I'm using what's called a snafu rig, which you could find right here on this video where I put together a seminar of all the rigs and hooks and lines and knots that you may need. And all I'm doing is I wanna make sure that those hooks poke out through the crab so that when the blackfish hit it and I try to set the hook, I don't get crab shell instead of blackfish face. And you could cut off the legs, or you keep the legs on. Again, just switch it up, see what they like. The blackfish are going to tell you what their preference is during the day, whether that's green crab or white leggers, whole crab, little crab, larger crabs, you name it. Just let them tell you. So constantly be switching it up so that you know exactly what the blackfish are honing in on, and then throughout the day you can match exactly what they want to maximize your fish catching abilities. And here's another one I'm going to swing up here, another little guy. Again, keepers were far and few in between, but we did manage to get a good hook set. And of course, where can we leave out our good buddy Mr. Dogfish right there? So, yeah. So there's a shark. It's great for the kids, not so great for a bunch of serious fishalots trying to get some blackfish. And we agreed on the boat, you know, we're not going to get greedy. We agreed that 2 blackfish a man will do it for us on this trip. And that's exactly what we did. So each of us caught our limit of 2 blackfish. You see them right there. And we each went home with a nice little bag of goodies, blackfish goodies. And these fish are delicious. And here's a little trick here that I thought was interesting, is you use an electronic turkey cutter here to just cut right through these fish. You can tell Alex is making short work of this. I'm used to the Dexter Russell method. I am very good at filleting fish. Again, I worked 8 years on fishing boats where I had to fish every single day in order to make money, and some of that time fishing was filleting fish for money. And this is a good technique here. I got to give him credit. I wish I was doing that however many years ago when I was working on boats. But yeah, he's going to make quick work of these blackfish. And yeah, when you go home, you just chop out the ribs, throw them in the frying pan or however you like to cook them.
Going up top.
Well, all right, Fishalots, if you enjoy this content, these helpful tips and tricks, make sure to click on this end card right here where I'll take you to another video where I'll share more tips that could help you catch more fish and maximize your time out on the water. I'll also leave a link in the description below of other videos that you may want to check out depending where you live and what you're fishing for. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you out there on the water.